So it's been about a week since I last recorded, and that's because I've been hella busy. First and foremost, I don't think we have cut yet, so let's first try to go ahead and get that, because otherwise we can't go into the Eterna. Oh, we get it from Cynthia, clearly. It's been a week. It's very late at night. Well, it's not very late. It's 9 p.m. as I'm recording this, the day before it goes up. I had expected that by this point I'd already completed the game, but there's I like how she gives you TM93S. Like, it's plural. TM93s. I don't know how many she gives us, but it doesn't matter, because we have a Bidoof, and we can use Bidoof to use cut. Is it still going to be Bidoof? That's the question, though, right? It's still Bidoof, the master, the hero. I've done a fair bit of playing around in the underground. I'll get into that maybe at some other point. I have a full secret base at this point, is really what it comes down to. So today, it's in a building time. That's probably mostly what we're going to be doing today. I don't know how quickly we're going to progress through the rest of the game. Again, I had expected that I had, at this point, already finished the game. I haven't, because things have just been busy. Honestly, I've been 24/7. I've been like doing shit and sleeping. I haven't had time to play, and I'm very glad to be playing this game again. Okay, so just a quick reminder, we have the level 29 Swablu, because holy shit, the underground is overpowered. So let's start with a Flame Wheel against the Wurmple, and then we can use a Dragon Breath, I suppose, against the Zubat. That should absolutely demolish both of these Pokemon. This is not going to be too big of a deal. So we're probably going to stomp through most of these fights, and then maybe we can make our way to Hearthome City. And that is, I think... Also, I didn't show you yet, I don't think, because it's been a while since I did this, but I did trade my Kadabra back and forth with a friend to get an Alakazam. So Justin is now, in fact, a level 19 Alakazam, which is going to help a lot with the third gym that's coming up at some point in the near future. Once we get to Hearthome City, I think we unlock the ability to have Pokemon walk with us. And that is really where the games get good for me, because it's just cute to have your Pokemon walking with you. That's really all it comes down to. There's nothing much to it. The question, though, is who is going to be our walking Pokemon partner? I don't know why I just switched accent halfway there. I honestly... Again, it's late. I've had like a full 8-hour walk day. You might say, 8-hour walk day, that's a regular thing. And to that I say, you have to realize when I say 8-hour walk day, I mean a full 8-hour work day. That means 8 hours of work, not 8 hours spent at work. Those are two very, very different things. So my mind is slightly fried at this point, which usually ends up making for weird-ass commentary, but fun videos, generally, right? So hopefully it will do that very, very thing here today, because I was honestly thinking, so maybe I'll just record this tomorrow, right? Maybe I'll just record this when I'm fresh, and I'll just like push some work towards the evening, which I can do a little bit easier when I don't have to have like a full focus in my brain. And then I figured, you know what? Fuck it. I've been waiting for a week to play this game. I've wanted to finish this game since the moment I got it, and I've only been able to be fair, I've been able to play a fair bit off screen. I've got like 7 hours in this game at this point, because 5 hours of those are without a doubt in the underground, because the underground is very, very addicting. But one thing I figured out very quickly is that I shouldn't burn myself out on the underground too much, because some of the post-game I couldn't resist, right? Because there's so many things that I have to do that I'm like, okay, I can't possibly keep myself spoiler-free until I actually get to the post-game. So I just looked up some post-game stuff. We don't need Tail Whip. I looked up some post-game stuff, and post-game and in certain regards, and the underground are linked. And the further you get into the underground, the better certain rewards will be, and the better the Pokemon you get there will be. Especially once you get to National Dex, the Pokemon that you can get there just go through the roof. So I'm going to hold back on doing too much underground stuff, because I don't want to burn myself out on the thing that's going to be driving a non-insignificant portion of the post game. And I'm not going to talk too much in detail about what that is in case anybody here is watching it and wants to experience that for themselves, or experience it if you have a lot of patience with me as I go through that post-game section in like a month and a half, probably. So I'm going to refrain from going into detail about it, but honestly, this game's been out for a while now. You probably already figured out what the post-game is all about. It's not that much. Spoiler, there's no Battle Frontier, because Nintendo hates us. I also do need to take a bit of a drink of water. Did Justin just miss leveling up by literally 1 experience point? I gotta check that out, hold on. I think Justin just didn't level up by 1 experience point there. It might be 2, but it's definitely not more than 2, is it? How much experience? Check summary. How much experience? 4 experience points needed to level up. That's a slap in the face if I've ever seen one. So, yeah, this is the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Eternal building. So it's actually a lot less cool than the Platinum one. Again, I understand that it's supposed to be a faithful remake, and I love and respect that. What I do not, however, love and respect is the fact that there's some clear, just straight-up improvements that don't impact anything too much from Pokemon Platinum, like the second gym, like the Eternal building, and they just don't do anything with it. Am I being a bit of a Platinum fanboy? Yeah, I straight up maybe I am. But again, I've played a lot of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl before Platinum was even released, so it's not like I have stronger nostalgia over Platinum. I think, honestly, Platinum is just, like most other third games in their respective generations, is just a better game in so many ways. And it seems like, I understand they didn't want to job Psycho Cut. I like it. I understand that they didn't want to include the distortion, well, at least not yet, maybe in a DLC down the line, right? But, and there's a very big but, just like Contank here has, there's some more minor improvements that Platinum gave that you could have used. You've changed gyms to entirely new designs in the past in these remakes. And I know, again, this is not developed by Game Freak, so I shouldn't say, well, Game Freak has done this, so you... I am aware. But there's still like some kind of consistency in branding, and I feel like being able to say it's an authentic remake, really, they make that seem like it's worth more than it actually is. Because an authentic remake also keeps all of the mistakes that were made in the original game. And that you should never do. You should never... If you have a better alternative, which they have in a blueprint, right? For... I'm actually going to probably switch out here in a moment, but into what is the question? Maybe into Holy, because it's play rough. That might be a good idea. Then again, are you a fairy type already? Because that might be bad. Because of the poison typing. Yeah, that's probably not a great idea, is it? God damn it. That's what I get for... I don't even know if Play Rough is going to do anything. It should be super effective against Dark, right? I don't know fairy typing matchups at all. But that does not seem super effective at all. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that Poison resists Fairy, because I know it's weak. Fairy is weak to Poison. So maybe Dragon Breath? Because at least it'll be stab. It's not stab because you're not a dragon type yet. Oh, I'm an idiot. This Skuntank is taking a beating, I'm telling you. Let's switch out again. Maybe can Sparky do anything? Not really. Nothing on my team can really do anything, especially not Justin because of the dark typing. I suppose we can go back into Ralph and just power up punch him to death. I should have just been using power punch from the start. I used 2 power up punches, I think, didn't I? Did I use Mark Punch? I think I used power up punch. I shouldn't have switched out if I used power up punch. That's on me. That's my mistake. Should not have done that. We'll never do that again. That's a lie, I will, because I'm an idiot. But let's use another power punch. Let's see how it does. Maybe get a critical hit. I didn't get a critical hit, but that still worked marvelously. So Snarl shouldn't be able to kill me because it's not very effective. Then the poison won't quite take me down. I'll live just a little, yeah, and then you do not outspeed me. So another power-up punch will, in fact, kill the Skunk Tank. And again, even if this were a Nuzlocke, Aftermath, never mind. I was about to say, even if this were a Nuzlocke, this wouldn't be that bad. But Aftermath is a real bitch in Nuzlocks. So luckily this is not, in fact, a Nuzlocke. So I'm fine. But that could have been bad. I'm so glad I decided to do this as a non-Nuzlocke, because I'd be fucked if it were, even though this game is stupidly easy with the experience mechanics, which I know I've complained a lot about, but at this point I am just all for it, because it makes the entire experience just a lot more casual, and I can just sit back, enjoy the nostalgia, and enjoy reliving my childhood, which that's literally what nostalgia means, I am aware, without having to level grind too much. And in a certain way, I would have actually liked to have to do a little bit of level grinding, because level grinding means I get to play this game on my own, without recording, just chilling, and having some fun. I do not get to do that at this point, because the only reason to do that is to level grind, and if I level grind, I'm going to be even more overpowered than I already am. So maybe right before the Elite Four or something, I've seen people. I need to get this off my chest. I might have already complained about this before, but again, it's sure French checker app. Sure. I might have complained about this before, and if so, I'm sorry. I'm going to complain about it again. How many Pokeballs do I have? That's the wrong button. And that is, people seem to think Cynthia is like the most badass, difficult champion fight there is, or even just one of the most difficult Pokemon story fights in general. Oh, this is mostly what I got from the Underground, by the way, if you were curious. Which that's just straight up not the case. I'm very sorry to inform you, but Cynthia is not that bad. Yeah, her guard jump is kind of rough to get past if you don't have an Ice-type move. But otherwise, it's really not that big a deal. And then she's got a Spirit Tomb, which is kind of difficult to get past. But that's going to get even easier now, because we've got things like Dazzling Gleam, which will just absolutely annihilate the Spirit Tomb. The entire thing about Spirit Tomb back in the day was nothing is super effective against it. But that doesn't hold up anymore either. So that's going to get easier. I feel like I'm starting to understand Gen 1ers, is the thing, right? Because Gen 1ers are millennials who absolutely get their brains annoyed. I'm trying to make logical sense here. Let me try again. Gen 1ers are millennials who get annoyed at people who like more modern Pokemon games, and they say, Gen 1 was the best. And while that's just objectively not the case, I'm starting to understand them more and more, because as much as I have nostalgia for these games, specifically, I'll just get a Ghastly, it'll be fine. Gen Z is now at the point where they get nostalgic for shit. There's a way to get a Gengar here somehow in the original games. I don't remember what it is. I'll get back into that train of thought in a moment. Dreadplay, that's... At some point we're going to get an Arceus event, and that's going to... Arceus, Arceus, whatever. And that's going to be very, 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 very relevant. But for the time being, not so much. It seems like there might not be the Gengar thing. There is... never mind, we just get our first encounter here anyway, and it's going to be probably a Ghastly. It is a Ghastly. Yes, it is. Okay, so they didn't make a specific thing for cities. Like a specific area for battles inside cities. Because God knows why. But they made one specifically for this abandoned mansion. Back onto the Gen Z thing. So Gen Z has a similar attachment to Gen 3 and apparently Gen 4. Which makes a lot of sense because I'm on the older side of Gen Z. And I'm more like I'm kind of in between those two generations, right? Gen 3 and 4. That'll probably kill you. I don't want to do that. So let's go into Amy and Watergun. And these people were probably like 10 or something like that when these original games came out. So they experienced Cynthia as this absolutely humongous challenge, which at the time these games were released, again, I'm a bit on the older side of Gen Z, so I was probably like 13 or 14 or something. So I had like 2 more brain cells than all of these other kids, which at this point, they're just adults. We're all just adults, right? But at the time, I had like 2 or 3 more brain cells, so Cynthia was never that big of a deal for me. But all these people that were like 9 and 10 at the time of the release for this game, to this day apparently seem to remember that Cynthia was this huge ass fucking deal, which again, she really wasn't. Let's go back over some other fights in the Pokemon franchise, because it kind of feels like they just played Gen 4 as a stupid kid and then never touched any other Pokemon game again or even went back to play these same games. Which is fine, but it kind of makes you show how much of an ass you are. Ghastly female, we're going to name you Madam that's not gonna fit. I can't nickname. I think I can nickname you outside of battle in more modern generations, right? So I can add you to the party. I will yeet away. Look, Justin. Look. I'm gonna keep you on the team for the time being. I've been interrupted in my own story like about 50 million times at this point. Anyway, so I think if we go into the team, we can just change the nicknames on the fly, right? No, we cannot. Wait, can we access boxes on the fly? Oh, we can. That's a let's go thing, right? That's not in Sword and Shield? Is that in Sword and Shield? I don't know. That's in Sword and Shield. That might also be in Sword and Shield. So we've just got a Ghastly named Ghastly. And there's not much... I'm pretty sure in Sword and Shield, or at least in Let's Go, you can rename your Pokemon after capturing them still. Without having to go to the name raider or any shit like that. Anyway, long story short, is Cynthia isn't that big of a deal. And now we just watch me fail like miserably a billion times fighting Cynthia. But let's go over the champions real quick, right? Because you have the Gen 1 champion, which I honestly think... Like, if Cynthia is difficult, the only reason the Gen 1 champion, like Blue, isn't that difficult is simply because we have a lot of glitches that we can abuse in Gen 1. I will give you one thing. Lance in Gen 2 is a horrible fucking champion. He's a very easy champion. But that's also because he's not the end point of the game, he's the halfway point of the game. If we're being real honest here, we should consider, and I know that it's more of a post-game fight, much like you have Steven in Pokemon Emerald, but really you should consider Red the champion in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And the Red fight in Gold, Silver, and Crystal is a lot more rough than the Cynthia fight in Diamond and Pearl. I'm sorry to inform you, it just is. I'll give you one thing. If you are Gen Z, you never went back to play Gen 1 or 2, there is a real good argument for... It actually looks like the Alga! Holy fuck! Remember what this thing looked like in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl originally? It looked like a weird ass fight. It actually looks like the Alga. This is amazing. So if you were Gen Z, and that means that probably like, even if you're older Gen Z like me, one of your first Pokemon games probably was Gen 3. And admittedly, Gen 4, the champion fight there, more Psychic types, fantastic. The champion fight in Gen 4 is like a lot more difficult than anything Gen 3 has to offer. I'll agree with you on that. But then immediately going into Gen 5, you have the Gatsis fight, which we're taking as the actual champion fight. I know Alder is the champion, but from a story perspective, like Gatsis is the champion fight in Gen 5, right? Again, more difficult than Cynthia. Cynthia's actually one of the easier champion fights if you think about it, which is what makes it so fucking annoying that people hype her the fuck up. Because she's not that big a deal. Again, she might be rough if you've never heard of the ice typing. Because that Garsham can deal quite a bit of damage, but if you just flick one speck of snow in its face, it fucking dies. It's... people. The fuck? Okay, we've got a Chingling. It's a... is it a male or a female Chingling? It's we're getting all the females. That's, don't take that out of context, please. Let's call you... I'm gonna call you Belle. With a capital B. I'm not entirely an idiot. I have learned capitalization. It does not help that... if I could just type this with my keyboard... yeah, Ghastly. Bye. Very sorry, I don't need a Ghastly. I already have a glass cannon on my team, that being Alakazam. So I don't need a Gengar as well. If it were a shiny, I still wouldn't take it because you don't have Mega Evolutions, and Mega Gengar is the only good shiny in that entire line. Because the shiny line for Gengar is fucking horrible. It just turns blue instead of purple. Such a massive difference, isn't it? I'm getting so many emails throughout this recording. I want to be able to see my recording timer. Please stop obscuring it through emails. You guys can't see that, but I can. And I want to be able to... I don't know if I'm going to go record 1 or 2 episodes. I'm kind of leaning 2 episodes, honestly, because I'm getting back into it. I feel... honestly, when I started this, and you can probably tell that I'm a very, like, scatterbrained. I'm all over the place. But when I started this, I felt a little tired, very tired as a matter of fact. I can feel like my energy building up, being very hyped. The moment I stop this recording, I'm probably going to absolutely fucking collapse. But that's probably a nice thing, because it'll be 10 p.m. It'll be like, it'll take an hour or so, just like wind down, just be tired, just watch a show, and go to sleep, and just go back to work tomorrow and like edit this stuff before I have to upload it. And there's a lot of things that I need to do, dude. Among which is playing Pokemon, and that's definitely the most fun thing that I have to do, because as I talked about before as well, we're probably gonna get like a Meditite or a Bronzor here. And I'm kinda hoping for a Bronzor, because I could use something bulky. It's a matchup, which I already have a matchup, so we can skip this one. So as I already talked about before, it's been a while since I've like legitimately not even just enjoyed, but I don't know what that little dance that Monferno keeps doing at the start of fights is. But not even just that I've enjoyed a playthrough of Pokemon, because I've just medium enjoyed them. But since I've been... no, anxious isn't the right word, but since I've been excited, that's probably a better explanation there. Let's use Scratch. I don't really want to catch the Meditite, but I guess we will. Since I've been excited to start playing a Pokemon game again, it's the same thing here, right? If this was any other game that I played in the Pokemon game specifically, that I played in the last couple of years, I probably have pushed it back to tomorrow for the recording session. Because I would have been like, it'll be fine, I'll just play like half an hour tomorrow and just like throw an episode together, it'll be fine. But I'm actually excited to get to play this game now, and I'm pushing myself to actually play it, and I'm trying to free up time to play it. I'm pushing other things out of the way sometimes to play it. I could have done like an hour and a half of modeling in Blender, because I have some models to make as well, but I figure, you know what, I can do that tomorrow or Wednesday or whatever, because... That doesn't have any hurry, and neither did this, to be honest, but I just kind of felt like playing this more. Meditite female's name is... another female! Holy hell! I don't mind that, I guess. Even though I am very bad with female names, so we're going to call you Cindy. Why? Because I need a random name generator is really what I need. Belle, I really like you. I don't. Bye. Chimecho is the fucking worst. It's such a rare Pokemon in Gen 3. And then in Gen 4 they introduced Chingling, which made it not rare. But the entire thing about Chimecho is it's the second rarest Pokemon in Gen 3. Only Feebas is more rare. But not even by a huge margin. And at least Feebas evolves into Milotic, which is like a pretty good water type, which I don't think it's poison type in the original games. It is in most, in Drayano hacks and stuff, right? Like that, right? But it isn't in the original games. It learns a few poison type moves, I think, though. It's a pretty good, bulky water type, Milotic. But then you have Chimecho, which is almost as rare. And it's just useless. It's just a token to show you, here, I wasted a bunch of my time. Are you proud of me yet, Dad? And then your dad comes in and says, no, please stop playing this video game and go get a job. And then you cry. I don't have a bike yet. I don't have a bike yet because I haven't gone to the bike. Okay, usually that guy gives you the experience share. I am very curious what he gives you in this game. This is the apartment building, not the... Yeah, that's entirely the wrong building. I'm very curious what he gives you in this game. Because, again, usually he gives you the experience share, but the experience share is just a building mechanic that you can't turn off in this game. So, what does he give you? Just give me a bike. Oh, we have 4 colors that we can choose from. Blue, red, yellow, or green. That's the first generation of Pokemon colors. That's very clever. I'm gonna go for red because it's probably the best color. Do you want a red bike? I really just don't care. So I'm assuming that it says Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Pikachu. I don't know how I didn't remember Pikachu's name. It's literally the most famous Pokemon in existence. Is it already? No. Is it already mapped to the R button? No. How? No. I feel like an old man trying to navigate these menus. Anyway, we have the bike, so register it to that. I don't exactly know how they said it would work, but this... It did a sparkly thing. What did it just do? Ooh, it does a sparkly thing. Whenever you switch gears, it does a sparkly thing. Okay, so what the fuck do you want? Whoa, you got a bike! You can ride... I know. You literally will not let me go back. It's a faithful remake, but we are going to add hand-holding parts for you because we think you're fucking stupid. So, they refuse to add things that would improve the game, but they add things that take away all your freedom. What if I wanted to go to the Inner Forest now? What if I wanted to go catch a Ghastly after getting the bike? They just straight up wouldn't let me. They probably would let me after I just go through here and back, but still, it's kind of stupid to add that. So what do you give me? You give me 44 Pokemon? You don't give me 44. Oh, you could. You just give me a rare candy instead. You know what? I'm not even upset. Not even upset at all. I am, however, going to switch my lead Pokemon because, again, it's been Ralph for fucking ever. And I think... You know what? Amy. Amy, you deserve some time in the spotlight here, I think.